What up, nerds? Welcome to Nerd Jersey. I'm Alex Bond.
I'm Nicole Herview.
And let's jump into some stuff that you have not briefed me on yet.
Yay! So first of all, I haven't finished Daredevil yet, so you can speak to this more. I'm ashamed of myself, I know.
What episode are you on? Because I'm doing a
7?
rewatch. You're on 7? I think I just watched 7 again.
Let's not get too deep into it, because number one, spoilers. I don't want to give too many spoilers out. The thing's been out for forever, but it doesn't matter. I'm still catching up, because when it came out, I wanted to watch the whole thing in one sitting, and it was in the midst of finals for me, or a final project that took forever. So I was like, no, I can't commit to this right now. So then I got home after graduation, and I was like, I'm going to watch this in one sitting. And then it's too much, honestly, for me to watch all in one sitting. Like, there's a lot to keep track of, because I know nothing about Daredevil. This is my first, delving into Daredevil.
I got sick for a day. That's how I watched it all at once.
Well, yeah, that would do it.
I was bedridden. I couldn't,
I'm trying to job search and do all that at the same time, so I haven't watched the whole thing yet.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be able to analyze these episodes as I go. I'm not just, binging.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I'm
that's
keeping
my
notes
excuse.
on each one now.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing,
So,
too.
at a point, we'll revisit that.
We will
Let's rewind to what we talked about with the first episode we posted, with the hypothetical Star Wars plot.
Yes.
That was Belated Media that posted that.
Yeah, we wanted to plug that, sorry.
It's very easy to find on YouTube. You just go on there and you say, what if Star Wars was good? It's the Belated Media link.
We'll put a link in our description.
It'll...
down in the crotch of the YouTube video. Yeah, one of my favorite YouTubers says that. It's in the
down in the crotch.
Down in the crotch.
That's one.
But that's something.
Yeah.
I would say down below, which is my absolute favorite YouTuber says comment down below. So we'll put it in the description down below. So it's fine.
All right, let's get into this hodgepodge of crapola.
So we're going to talk about how the Punisher is going to be in season 2 of Daredevil.
So excited.
I know nothing about Punisher either.
Have you seen the Tom Jane movie?
I haven't, because I was this is my excuse for these things. I was so little when these movies came out that my mom was like, no. My parents. I won't blame my mom.
I mean, the Punisher is a brutal
It's a lot.
character.
It's brutal. And I was little when it came out, so it was just, there were so many movies on my list.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think a lot of people can feel this, but when I'm like the oldest in my family. Mm-hmm. I'm the first kid of 2. So
you're the caution child.
I was the caution child, which is, a lot of my friends are, whatever. So there was a lot I needed to catch up on, once I would
watch that. It's a good portrayal. It's very different, and it's not going to be the same Punisher that we see in John Bernthal's portrayal.
Yeah,
who is going to nail it.
Yeah, I keep saying this. This is blowing my brain. It's a little bit of a nerdgasm, to borrow some words. The Punisher is going to be in Daredevil, and he's going to be played by Shane from The Walking Dead. My brain exploded
because he did a great
amazing.
Portrayal of somebody who's so. I mean, he went nuts.
From the little I know about Punisher, I see where he's gonna take elements of Shane. Possibly, I can't speak to the man's acting, strategy, but I can see that he could pull some things from his performance of Shane and use it. That I feel like a sense of justice, almost. Does that make any sense whatsoever? I don't know much.
With the Punisher, it's weird because he is a vigilante to the harshest term.
That's what, he's ride or die, isn't he?
Kind of.
Yeah.
And I now know I really need to dig into these Marvel Knights comics.
Yeah, really.
Just to get a sense of where they're coming from, because a lot of my stuff is from the the multimedia perspective,
right.
Of diving into these characters on visuals and on for motion pictures. That's where a lot of my knowledge comes from, and then I do my research on where the character came from.
Yeah, right.
So, but it's definitely because he is pretty firmly rooted in Daredevil, and I mean he even had some run-ins with Spider-Man here and there.
Well, Marvel has always been intertwined pretty nicely with their universes, with their characters. They all very much exist on the same plane.
Well,
and I like that.
Yeah, well, you have
DC's always done the same thing in the books. I'm just saying they carried it through to the movies, and that's what I came to first.
It's the street level superheroes that I'm particularly interested in.
Right.
Which is why I think Spider-Man would make a great Netflix series, because he is a localized hero, like Daredevil is.
Yeah.
And
there's an animated one, but it's so for kids. You know, it's so for kids, which is fine. I mean, it's an easy watch.
Yes.
But you feel like you're being,
But where you have the Avengers traveling all over the world, I don't see how Spider-Man fits into that, but...
Right.
Anyway,
But he does. I mean, that's, he's a huge part of Civil War and in the books and everything. I'm interested to see how it carries through to the movies. But anyway, I mean,
they're never going to sequester their A-list star to a Netflix series.
No, and I feel like Spider-Man's been done so much that they wouldn't, not to say waste a Netflix series, but they took a character that...
It always makes them money.
People in the mainstream.
Yes.
Kind of forgot about, and on a cinematic level, Daredevil.
Yes.
People kind of, once that movie didn't do great, that was it. He was kind of thrown aside. So now that Marvel's made him so big again with the Netflix series, I feel like they're going to want to do that with other characters that have been overpassed.
It's good that happened because it let them scoop up the rights again.
Right.
They could get the rights back from the original studio.
I love that.
So
I'm going to say it now because this just popped into my head. But I would love if Marvel's going to keep making deals with Netflix and doing Netflix series. What I want to see, don't yell at me, what I want to see is an unbeatable Squirrel Girl Netflix series. It would be on a completely different level. It would be like the book. It wouldn't be as serious. I don't think Squirrel Girl necessarily wouldn't work cinematically, but I think she'd work better on an episode by episode.
It would be one of those things where it's going to be kind of a specific market. A movie maker wants as wide of an appeal as possible.
Exactly. That's why I think it would work on Netflix.
Exactly.
And she's cool, man. She's great. She kicked Thanos' ass. Come on now. She's seriously cool. And if I feel like I said it in the first episode, but I don't care. If you haven't read the Squirrel Girl books, do it.
I don't think we got there. We talked about Cacophony. We talked about Frank Miller. We did not get
I don't think we went Squirrel Girl.
I'm glad we are, because nobody's talking about Squirrel Girl.
She's growing to be one of my favorite characters in Marvel lore. And she's always been cool to me, like the idea that she's got the powers of both a squirrel and a girl. Like, that's sick.
That's where the name comes? Oh.
Shut up. She sings the Spider-Man theme song, but changes the words to, like, she has the powers of a squirrel and a girl, and it's really funny. Like, she's so light, it's great. Like, you can read a dark book and then read Squirrel Girl, and you feel better about your life. You know what I mean? It's like comic relief. It's great. And she's badass. She's a college freshman. This is delving off of the point completely. But she's a college freshman who doesn't go through that college freshman thing of, oh my God, who am I? She doesn't give a shit. She's like, this is me, deal with it. I have nothing to be ashamed of. And she's quirky and weird. You know what I mean? Like, she's not your typical... She's not Batgirl. And I'm not saying Batgirl's bad. I'm just saying that you see Batgirl and you see Squirrel Girl, and it's completely different looks. That's all I'm saying. And both are fine. Yeah. Both are fine. It's just that Squirrel Girl is not what you usually see as a female on the cover of a comic book. You don't normally see a girl she's not full-figured, but she's curvy, and she loves it, and she doesn't have, like, perfectly symmetrical face and, like, whatever. She's kind of buck-toothed. She looks like a squirrel, which is kind of cool. She has a tail. It's, like, insane. And she, like, stuffs it in her pants, so she's got, like, a huge butt. It's really cool. But but that's the body positive part of it. But she also has confidence abound about her personality, about who she is, about the fact that she has powers. She like wants to buddy with like Tony Stark. It's really cool. Like she's an Avengers fangirl, which I think is really funny. But anyway, she's very different.
Let's
very
make it
cool.
happen. It should happen.
And I think it would be a cool comedy series for Netflix made with Marvel. I think it would be really smart, and I'm just going to say it now that I said it here.
There we go.
There you go.
We get the royalties.
No, we don't. You can have that.
Is that not how that works?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. But Marvel, I'm going to say it now. You can have that if I can help. Like, that would be cool, because I think she's awesome. I did a couple write-ups for my internship about her and about her body positivity and about how she wasn't the typical female superhero. And they were published, so that was pretty cool. That was nice. But anyway, back to Punisher being in Daredevil. I think that's going to be sick. I really do.
Absolutely.
I think it's going to do for a lot of people like me who are slowly building their repertoire. There's so much to delve into in books. I think there's often a wall put up for like new fans that it's like you can't admit that you're a new fan.
Well, what's
so like it's hard to get that body of knowledge.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like Daredevil has done that for a lot of people, that like you can kind of get a crash course in Daredevil by watching this, and then you want to delve in more. And I think that that's going to let people go more into Punisher. And I think that they're gonna go further with that.
It absolutely should, because you can't follow the same beats that season 1 did.
No, you can't.
You know, because season 1 you have Daredevil versus Wilson Fisk, and you have them both, you know, making moves and finally coming to a head in a final conflict.
Yeah.
And there's little things thrown in between with, you know, with Melvin Potter and making the suit, and with Karen Page and Foggy,
spoilers.
and there's things like that come into play.
Yeah.
Now you come into season 2 and you throw in the Punisher, and you know they'll butt heads.
Yeah.
He's not going to stand as the villain, but it's going to be a different complexity of, you know, two people that are trying to fight for the city coming together and trying to make an understanding. There's a little bit of that with Stick this season, which have you gotten to?
Yeah, I saw the episode. I think there's only one. I checked IMDb.
It is.
There's only one with Stick, and that's the last one I saw.
Yes,
that's it.
And that
was
kind of
sick.
that sentiment comes in with how they do things differently. Stick has no qualms about taking a life, and when the
Which
crate
I liked.
when the crate opens and this weapon is a kid.
Spoilers. Sorry,
it's been up for a month.
I don't care. I didn't finish it. There's people who didn't finish it.
But we already warned them. They can skip past this.
But it's not like the main plot.
It's really not. It's one episode, and for that to happen, for Stick to have no problem with, you know, he's trying to save the kitchen, and he's using Daredevil's help, but they do things differently.
Okay. Well, that's going to be cool, and I'm sure we'll see more as it goes.
Yes.
Obviously, which is cool. I mean, I feel like we just finished season 1 of Daredevil. I don't when is season 2 going to
next year?
Yeah, I figured it's
we don't know when Jessica Jones is going to air. It's sometime later this year. They haven't given us a definite yet.
That's going to be cool.
And you've got to imagine that season 2 of Daredevil comes out in April, much like this one did.
Yeah, I feel like they would.
Yes, they did it with House of Cards. They did it with Orange is the New Black. Yeah, it makes sense.
Cool.
So we've got some kind of time frame to work with.
Now, we probably should have started with this, but I want to start with Punisher because it's been a little bit.
That's
it's been a couple
huge,
days.
And this next thing looks like
bigger.
We just woke up to it.
This is huge, and I'm really upset. I might cry. This is really upsetting to me. Christopher Lee passed away today.
And I don't want to mourn the death. I don't
want to talk about his death. I want to talk about what he did in his career.
We should celebrate
because holy
this guy's
God.
incredible.
So I ravaged his IMDb page, and obviously we geeks know him as Saruman. I'm a big Tolkien person, so my first exposure to him was actually Saruman in Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Now, But he was also Count Dooku in Star Wars.
Hell yeah.
So he's...
starting around the same time.
Yeah. No, the credits, when I was going through IMDb,
they
it was like they alternated.
overlap.
It was very interesting. It was like, here's Lord of the Rings, here's Star Wars. He's doing like 3 things at once. So cool. So yeah, that's how I know him, mainly as Saruman, and then it was like, oh look, Saruman's in Star Wars. But that's...
I mean, everybody knows him as Dracula.
That's what I'm going to get into. He has... Let's talk about this real quick. Most actors don't have anywhere near this, so I think the fact that he has 282 acting credits on IMDb.
Hell yeah.
Starting in 1946. This man is a workaholic. Like, that's a lot of years, but that's a lot of film.
Yes.
That is insane. And a lot of... Like, there were TV series in there. That was like several episodes that he was in. Right. So it's not like he was doing one-offs and stuff.
And it's not like he was just popping in and out. He was iconic
all figures. Over the place. So let's talk about this. First, he did The Curse of Frankenstein in 1957. Mm-hmm. He was the creature. He was the monster. Mm-hmm. Sick. The Horror of Dracula was the first time he was Dracula, and that was 1958. Then he was Dracula again in 66, 68, 4 times in 70.
Yes.
72, 73, and 76.
And he looked great in the Dracula outfit.
And this is very personal. This is very personal. Perfect. But a year ago today, I was in Transylvania.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Studying Dracula.
That is right.
Studying Dracula. I had the fortune to study abroad for 3 weeks. One of those weeks was in Transylvania and Romania. And by the way, the country of Romania is absolutely gorgeous. And for Americans, it's very cheap to travel there. Our dollar is actually very strong there, which is cool.
I'm very excited to go to Czech Republic for the same reason in a few weeks.
But Romania is lovely. The people are absolutely wonderful, and the culture is so rich. You wouldn't just think that, because they have communist history, and they're still, as of when I was there last year, our tour guide said that they were still recovering from that on a social level, which is why our dollar is so strong over there, I guess. But anyway, beautiful country, and I studied Dracula, and I read I kept a journal. We traveled into Transylvania today last year, so knowing that the most iconic Dracula passed away today, it's strange for me. I don't know, but it's sad.
I mean, just look at that. That is such a classic look of Dracula.
That's beautiful.
But also intimidating.
We'll put that up on our Instagram. We have an Instagram where I'm going to put the link in the description of the video.
He was Dracula. He was Dracula. Incredible.
Beautiful. So yeah, he was Dracula. He was also the Mummy in 1959. He was Rasputin in 1966. What the hell? Like, that's his main horror credits, I would say, that I found. Those are iconic characters. Rasputin, the Mummy, Dracula, the Frankenstein monster. Holy God, this man is iconic. And you're right, like, that picture of Dracula, that's what you think of when you think Dracula.
Yeah, absolutely.
He is amazing. Absolutely amazing. He also played Sherlock Holmes, fun fact.
Beautiful. Love it.
And he was in Gremlins 2. I wanted to throw that one in there. Which I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not, but he was.
Gremlins 1's great. I don't know if I saw Gremlins 2. I want to watch him. I want to watch Gremlins again.
I would love to.
But that's great that he was in that.
But Christopher Lee, I believe 93.
Yeah, he was 93. He was 93.
I don't want to talk about like cause of death or anything. I think it's more important.
I mean, absolutely, yeah.
Talk about his career and what a phenomenal actor he was. He was Shakespearean.
First of all,
roots in Shakespeare,
careers, because he was an actor.
Yeah.
He was a spy in the Second World War before he was an actor.
Yeah.
And in his last few years, he was a metal singer.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like it was just yesterday that I was listening to like his Christmas songs. Yeah. Do you remember that? That was like a big deal that he had like a Christmas album with his metal band.
Terrific.
That's sick, man.
It's hilarious, and it's perfectly Christopher Lee. You buy it, you would do it.
People are like, oh my God, his voice. Like, that's so real. That's so real.
And as a spy, I don't know if you've seen the video. It's a behind the scenes interview with him from Lord of the Rings. in his death scene.
Yeah.
When I think it was for his death, but Peter Jackson's giving him direction and telling him, "Oh, I want you to make this noise when you get stabbed." And he's going on, and Christopher Lee stops him and he says, "Do you know what noise a man makes when you stab him in the back?" And Peter Jackson goes, "No." And Christopher Lee goes, "Well, I do. I got this."
Wow. Wow, I have never heard of any. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And you know me, I'm like Tolkienite.
Yep.
Because I am a hobbit / a dwarf. I'm not really sure what's going on with me, but I'm small.
How fucking perfect is that?
I'm small. But wow, I've never heard of a person talking back to PJ like that.
And he totally gets away with it.
That's great. Because he's him.
If you heard that, I would be scared shitless.
I'd be like, "Good day to you, sir," and I'd go back to my tea. That's what I would, because I know PJ loves his tea.
I know what it sounds like when a man dies. Shit, all right.
Okay, bye.
Do it, do it.
Do your thing, sir.
Roll clip.
And he was absolutely iconic as Saruman. I mean, he was iconic as Dracula. He's an iconic man. But for me, he's always going to be Saruman. And I remember seeing him as a human being, like seeing an interview with him and being like, that's what? Like,
he's such a sweet guy.
He's a chameleon. He's like, to be completely cliche about it.
No, I mean,
he melts into whatever he wants to be. And I studied acting for a little bit. I did it in high school. I'm not great, which is why I'm not pursuing it.
But you studied it, so you know it.
But I have a sense of what it takes to melt into a character like that. You can't teach that. You can't.
Oh,
there's just something in acting that you can't teach it. And a lot of talents are like that. That you know, teaching helps. Obviously, it helps you hone that skill. But if you can't act, you can't act. And this man has more God-given talent, in his pinky toe than most people have in their whole bodies.
It's a step beyond talent too. I mean, there's acting, and then there's a select number of character actors.
Yeah.
People like Gary Oldman.
Oh God.
Vincent D'Onofrio that disappeared into their roles. Now we have someone like Robin Lord Taylor's the Penguin on Gotham, and he disappears into that role.
He's unreal.
And it's beautiful to watch, and to see Christopher Lee take on two iconic franchises in Lord of the Rings and in Star Wars.
Yeah, for lack of a better term, yes.
It's absolutely, it's incredible.
At the same exact time.
Yes.
That's what drives me insane. That it's like, it's not like he was like, let me do the Saruman thing, and then I'm going to go be Count Dooku. It was like the same time.
That's like Ian McKellen taking on Magneto and Gandalf.
Correct.
In the same 4-year span.
McKellen as well is one of those people that just disappears.
He's playing Sherlock Holmes in a new movie now.
Of course, I feel like if you're English, you have to play Sherlock Holmes. Is that a rule?
I don't know. It's not quite a rule as in order to win an acting Oscar, you have to cry. That's my running theory. I can't remember the last Oscar winner that didn't cry in their movie.
Well, you got to show emotion, and one of the marks of a good actor is being able to cry on demand.
True.
And it's not necessarily look at that person, cry. It's every single time they perform a scene, they can cry.
Yeah.
Because they're so... You'll get a direction every once in a while. This is my favorite thing. That a legitimate direction for an actor. Watch Birdman, because it's
I need to see Birdman immediately.
Birdman's insane. And we'll talk... Once you see it, we should talk about Birdman, because wow. I mean... It's the kind of art that every human being can look at it and be like, that's art. Even though I don't understand what the hell just happened, that's art. And you can find something in it, and it's beautiful. Because it's basically Michael Keaton as Batman as Birdman. It's very
that was my
interesting.
take of it, of seeing how they're going to make the movie, and I thought that's perfect. That's
his voice is basically Batman. It's kind of cool. I won't spoil it. We'll talk about it later. But
because that was his legacy for a bit. He was the guy that used to play Batman,
right?
And in the last few years, I've loved it. I think Michael Keaton came back around in my life in The Other Guys as the police captain.
Wow.
Which he was hilarious in. He was terrific, and I was thinking Michael Keaton's back. It's beautiful.
Well, anyway, the acting direction is stop acting or act better.
Yeah.
Those are the two that you hear a lot that people who aren't actors don't always understand. You can easily understand it, but most don't.
No, it makes sense.
Don't act is something you would never have to tell Christopher Lee in his entire damn life. Because he never acted. He was. And that's something you, like I'm saying, you can't teach. You can't teach being. You can teach acting. You can't teach being. And that's, I think, something I never got through. You know what I mean? Like, I could act decently. You saw it.
Well, that's what makes the people that make it a cut above everybody else.
Exactly. Being is something you can't teach. And this man was better than
every
most.
Character he became, he was.
And he was better than most. So, I hope he's in a better place. Whatever you believe that means. I hope he's at rest, and we'll remember you and your work, because, my God, that was amazing.
There's a lot of it.
So, some fun stuff I got on the list.
In the Hodgepodge?
To be completely, go to the other side of the spectrum, Chris Hemsworth was cast, apparently, as a receptionist in the female-led Ghostbusters.
Yep. I'm on board.
What is... I'm not going to really...
Paul... Feig?
I think it's Feig.
Or is it Feige?
Because I keep thinking Feige, and I know that's wrong. Because that's Kevin Feige.
Yes.
But
he was on at midnight recently.
Of course he was.
I didn't see the introduction. So I watched part of the episode, but it was just Paul.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So
Chris Hardwick, you're my hero.
Someone will get mad and correct us, and we'll never make the mistake again.
Well, yeah. Well, hopefully someone's listening to correct us. Or we'll just look it up and we'll figure it out. Now, but anyway, not to ruin his name.
That is news that I did see. I'm excited about it. I'm on board.
I love it.
But then somebody said, damn, that should have been Billy Eichner's role, and I thought, damn, that would be great.
But I think the idea is, who is the most attractive human being on the planet, male human being on the planet? It's Chris Hemsworth. For a lot of people. I feel like, different strokes for different folks.
It's going to be great to see him.
Chris Hemsworth, that's the point, is he's a receptionist. He's a classically female role. In life and in film, receptionist tends to be woman, and beautiful woman. So to have Chris Hemsworth,
with this,
and it's lovely, to have Chris Hemsworth cast as the receptionist in the female-led Ghostbusters, not only is exciting for me, because Thor's going to be a receptionist, and I'm excited.
Well, he's got the comedic chops, too.
And absolutely. If you see him on SNL,
Oh,
he's hysterical. So it's going to be great. And from what I've read, I've only seen, I'm the worst, I've only seen Ghostbusters a handful of times. When I was young.
At least you've seen it more than once.
Yeah. Apparently the receptionist, I don't remember her name, but is a big deal in Ghostbusters. Like, people are freaking out about it. Like, she was great. I don't know if you know anything about this, but apparently she's beloved.
I just watched the movie.
Yeah, that's what but apparently her as a character is I don't know. Like, whatever. So it's a big deal that this character is also being gender swapped, which is awesome. But it also tells me something about Chris Hemsworth. That he saw this and he wasn't like, ew, like, where's the male Ghostbusters? Like, man, it's like, well,
Well,
have
for
a male
for someone with his personality, it's also more like, oh, I'm going to enjoy the hell out of this. This is going to be a great experience.
That too.
That's going to be a great set to be on.
Yes, it is going to be a great set to be on.
Everybody involved
everyone's wonderful.
Brilliant.
Yeah. It just shows me... It shouldn't show me a lot, but it does. When any actor or actress is like, this is different and it's causing controversy, I'm going to go on the right side of history and not whine and cry. I'm sorry if I'm offending anyone, I don't care. Whine and cry and say you're ruining my childhood by making Ghostbusters an all-female cast. Well, screw you, sir. Like, seriously, like, we need more representation in movies, and this is step one.
I mean, we did the male Ghostbusters thing, and
it's awesome.
I hope they never do it again. It stands perfect. We don't need to redo it. But if you want to world build on that, have them have created a legacy and now have female Ghostbusters, perfect. I love it.
So that's going to be great. Yes. And I'm sure more casting news and news about a potential plot and all that is going to come out soon. And, of course, we're going to be on top of that because if you know me, you know I'm going to love that. So, yeah. Okay, so now we're going to talk about something that was once really cool and is dying the most slow and painful death I have ever seen a show die in my life.
Family Guy?
The Simpsons.
Oh, Jesus.
It's worse. I love The Simpsons. I absolutely adore it. One of those shows I was never allowed to watch as a kid, which is fine.
There seems to be a lot of those.
Because that is not a kid's show. There is some stuff in there that is, wow. So, I had to come to that later in life.
Right.
But, oh my God, do I love it? Like, I will get together with two of my male cousins who I hang out with all the time, and my brother. The four of us will hang out a lot, and for a long time, it was just, we wouldn't have conversations, we would just quote The Simpsons. So, a lot of people have been saying for a long time, it's dying. I would agree. The quality has been not great. I watch it still sometimes because there's nothing else on. I watch it on FXX a lot, the Every Simpsons Ever thing that they did.
Yeah, there tends to be a gem on there when you can catch it. So
and I love it.
It's great to be able just to tune in.
I could just binge it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Most evenings in the week, you can tune in and there's a Simpsons episode on.
Which is great.
Yeah.
But
what?
They just announced,
oh God,
basically that they're out of ideas. Because Homer and Marge are separating.
What?
Yeah. Homer and Marge,
Wait,
they announced this week, I think a couple days ago.
Jesus.
That Homer and Marge are going to separate on The Simpsons, which I thought they already covered that in the Simpsons movie, that there was like turmoil in the marriage and they like fixed it and stuff because they're Homer and Marge and they're supposed to be. There has always been that story a million times that will they, won't they, like divorce or whatever, or separate or whatever. But the fact that they're trying to make news by saying they're separating officially.
Yeah, they were going to kill Brian Griffin officially.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, I don't know Family Guy, so I can't speak to that.
It's the same thing where they want to shake things up and make a new flavor. And
it's bad.
And then they go back on it 2 episodes later.
Yeah, I feel like this, because they're not saying Homer and Marge are getting divorced, it's going to rescind.
It's going to be quickly. The plot of like the new season, for the first episode of the new season, and then it's going to
yeah. But it seems to me, and I have met one of the writers of The Simpsons, Mike Reese. He's wonderful. He has a lot to do with, from what I understood from when he spoke at my school, he does a lot of the musical numbers. Like, do you remember the episode with the fake Mary Poppins? The Sherry Bobbins?
Yeah.
And there's the song, like, we're happy just the way we are.
Yes, yeah.
All that. He worked on that episode very heavily. He's great. He's really funny dude. Obviously really, really funny dude because he's been there for years. And he wrote some of the gems of this show. And I loved him. And I want to support this dude because he's great. But I'm not even sure he's on the show anymore. But you are proving to me, by saying this, you're out of ideas. And I don't like to attack. I'm not trying to attack.
I mean, anybody
anyone.
would run out of ideas after 26 seasons.
And that's fine. To say you're 26 seasons in and this show has run its course.
Well, I mean, consider this is the end of a pipeline that's maybe not started with, but Harry Shearer left the show earlier this summer.
Yeah.
So that's in itself a consideration of, well, where can the show go without him? He's half the voices.
Yeah.
He's been involved with the show for
Flanders.
20 plus years, and he's done, half of the people that you welcome into your home on a weekly basis.
Yep.
He's leaving.
There's a reason for that.
It's time to...
I think it's time for The Simpsons, because The Simpsons is a wonderful show.
Yes.
But I feel like they're jumping the shark a little bit, or a lot, or they've tried to jump the shark.
It was about time that they did.
Several times. But that's when you know, dude, it's over. Like, I'm sorry, I love The Simpsons, and I love everyone who works on the show, and I think it was a gem for a very, very long time. But it takes a strong team to say, we've done our job, this has run its course, it's over. And I think they need to listen to the fans, who hardcore fans are saying, you're done. Like, it's over, and there's nothing to be ashamed of in that, because this show ran for a very long time. But this, to me, that's it. I don't know. And I think it's sad that they're that out of ideas, but maybe it's time, maybe hire a new writing team. that sucks, but have new writers work with the old ones to
if
maintain
you're gonna keep it on,
or whatever, and I don't want anyone out of a job. That's the last thing I want.
But then you see, you see directors and writing teams will stay together but for a new project.
Yeah, I would love for them to start something else.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
It's difficult to
even if
to
they
see
did
this
a
happen.
spin-off. Find me some one-off episode that like could have been a spin-off, and do it, and I'd give it a shot.
Yeah,
because and I mean an episode in the golden ages, not like in the past couple years.
Oh yeah.
I mean when it was real good, and every episode in a season was like, who shot Mr. Burns? And you were like, yes, this is great.
Yeah.
Like, I want one of those. Even give me a spin-off about, like, Maggie. Give her a whole new life somewhere else, and have it Maggie grown up. Like, because we never heard her talk. She never developed as a character. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Give me something completely over there.
There were a couple episodes where they went into the future, but...
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but give me something else.
Yeah, give us somebody who was raised in that household.
I don't think it's that the team has lost it. I wouldn't say that. I think that the subject matter that they're dealing with has been covered, and that's it. I think you need to jump to something else. But okay, so there's that. Couple more things. This is my project that I'm like really excited about. Is the Suicide Squad.
Yes.
I'm not working on it. It's not my project, but like I'm up to date on almost everything Suicide Squad. I read the whole series. The new Suicide Squad, I'm actually waiting until the hardcover book comes out. Well, not hardcover, but until the book comes out, because I missed the boat on the first couple issues because I was somewhere else.
Right.
So I'm waiting until the book comes out, and then I'll get on the new Suicide Squad. But
gotcha.
The previous one.
Probably do the same thing. I'll probably borrow it after you're done with it.
Yeah, probably. So I've read all that several times over. It's my thing, because Harley is my baby. She's just everything to me. So Suicide Squad is very important to me. New pictures came out recently. I don't want to say today. Today is when I saw it, but who knows? Of Jared Leto and Common on set. Not together, but they're both tattooed, so that's why.
I mean, they're both in costume on set.
Yeah, correct. And but they were put in an article together because they're tattooed. They both have tattoos.
That's why they did it?
That's what the title of the article I saw was.
Interesting. Okay.
Very interesting that's the connection.
That's the draw. I mean,
whatever. It's fine.
Jared Leto and Joker attire is enough of a story break. I didn't know
agree.
Common was involved, so
that's the thing that
when
I was
the news
confused
came out,
about. I was like, wait, Common is in this movie? And I love Common. I have nothing but love for Common. So that was exciting for me.
Yeah.
But let me go Jared first, because I want to establish something with our audience.
Okay.
Which probably is all our friends right now, so they know this, but I want to establish it. Jared Leto is my favorite living actor.
Really?
Shut up, Bond. On the planet, okay? Yeah. I'm not going to go much further into that. He's also the frontman of my favorite band. So...
I mean, he's a terrific actor.
He is a terrific actor. Thank you.
I mean, there's no denying that.
No, you can't.
Requiem for a Dream, he was unreal. Lord of War, I loved him in, too. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people forget that movie exists, but he's great in that.
You want to see an artsy movie? Watch Mr. Nobody. That's something. Yeah. That is something.
It's on Netflix. I gotta watch that.
Yes. If you want to talk about time for like 2 hours after you watch a movie, watch that movie.
I'll talk about any movie for 2 hours after I watch it.
That's insane, that movie. Holy crap. Anyway, the dude's insane. He's also a director. He directs all the music videos, which are basically mini documentaries about like whatever.
That's
not
true.
always about the band.
Not always. Not really. I mean, I'm speaking from the earlier ones, not documentaries, but they're short films. Yes,
the earlier ones are short films. I mean, they're still short films. But The Kill is one of the best videos of our lifetime, and I don't think anyone can deny that.
For kind of a rendition of The Shining,
which was beautiful.
And then the one from yesterday.
From yesterday,
had a
was insane.
Cool story to it, and that was like a 12-minute video.
14 if you watch an extended, I think. Hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, you can't say much about. I mean, if you don't know what I'm talking about 30 Seconds to Mars. I didn't say the name, but and their live show is unbelievable. I'm an echelon, which means I'm in the family. They won't call them the fan base, but I'm in the 30 Seconds to Mars family.
Charles Manson had a family.
Love them to death. Shush. Shush. But anyway, so Heath Ledger is my favorite actor of all time. And that stems from his performance as the Joker, obviously.
And I'm not concerned about his performance as the Joker.
No, I'm not.
I'm concerned about his look.
We'll talk about that. But I said from the beginning that if they put the Joker in this movie, I probably won't see it. Because I was like, you cannot do that to Heath that quick. Like, no, that's not fair. But when they were like, it's Jared Leto, I was like, okay. And I was like, fine, continue. Proceed, you're fine. Because the last, think about this, the last role the man played won him an Oscar. And the last person who played the Joker won an Oscar for playing the Joker. Posthumously.
As the only actor to ever win the award for being in a superhero movie.
Correct.
Which is huge.
Insane. So to put those two together, people are already saying Oscar. I'm not going to put that kind of pressure on this man.
No.
That's a lot. To win back-to-back Oscars, almost impossible. But this man puts himself into literally everything he does. Literally every ounce of his being goes into a role when he does it, which is scary.
He's going to make a great Joker.
He's going to.
I have no doubts about that.
His performance might save the look, and that's what we want to talk about. That look is interesting. From the beginning, people were like, he's a caricature of himself.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know.
On the onset look, he looks like a vampire.
Yeah, the picture, we'll put it on our Instagram.
It's weird. With the hood up and the very pale skin and the...
Well, the hood up, I think, is to save the rest of the look. I don't think the hood up is part of the character.
But even just look at that,
I think it's him walking around set not wanting pictures of the whole look to leak.
The rotten teeth.
The rotten teeth, I thought it was grills at first, and I lost my mind a little bit.
No, looking at that,
but I think it's rotten teeth.
Yeah.
I think you're right. And I hope it is, because like, Heath's yellow teeth were awesome, but this man does not own a toothbrush. Show me tooth decay. Like, come on.
He doesn't floss every morning.
Like,
he doesn't brush twice
crap.
a day.
So,
it's just
that's
everything
fine.
else that I'm kind of
the tattoos,
weird on.
And I'm going to echo what's been said a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That man would not sit still for those tattoos.
No.
The only saving grace, and I've seen the picture that's completely fake of this, the only saving grace would be if Harley gave him those tattoos, and even that he wouldn't sit for, because their relationship is not a good relationship.
Tumultuous.
It's abusive as hell, and we'll get into that whenever. But, so this look just showed more that he does look like a vampire, but I don't think the hood is part of the costume. I really don't. I think that's them trying to prevent the most leaked film in the history of film, I think, from leaking anymore. Which is stupid.
Look, I'm still on board. I'm still on board with his Joker.
I agree, because I think he has no say in his look.
Right.
He's an actor.
It just gives me a little bit of...
It scares me.
Yeah, doubt in the movie itself.
Correct.
And that's why I think no matter how good his performance is, it's not going to be Oscar bait. It's going to be a fun, movie to dive into and see him playing the character, because it's not the last. I'm sure it's not the last time he'll play the Joker.
No, God, no. I think that's going to carry through for a while.
But it's his
look is not great. They have not sold. I'll say this: they have not sold me on the look.
Mm-mm.
There is still hope. His hair, I love his hair. Like, every time I see Jared put a Snapchat up, and it's just like, oh my God, hair. And he's wearing hats constantly, so you can't see the full effect. But once in a while, he won't wear a hat, and it's like, oh my God, I'm blinded. And I like that. I don't hate that. I like the hair. I like the white skin. You need the white skin.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's part of the character and whatever. And I think it's not the makeup thing that they did in The Dark Knight, which was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I want to move on because a lot's been said about Jared. About Common. Because nobody really knows exactly who he's playing. I'm getting my info. This is so sad. I'm getting my info from Yahoo Movie, like an article.
I'm telling you, go on Reddit.
I'm gonna go on Reddit. I also go on Tumblr, which is not always great, but whatever. Sometimes you get gems that link you out to decent articles. But anyway, I found this speculation that originally Common was going to be Black Manta or Bronze Tiger.
I would love to see him as Bronze Tiger.
I would too.
That would be awesome.
Both make sense because they've both been in Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks, after this picture, which will also go on our Instagram, which is just at Nerd Jersey, by the way. It's really easy. It looks like he's going to be Tattooed Man.
Which I'm also on board for.
But the Tattooed Man has had several iterations. The two that are being speculated, I can't say words, so forgive me if I mean, it's comic book lore, so I don't know if it's been said ever.
I think it's Abel Tarrant.
Abel Tarrant.
You
Abel
might be right about
Tarrant
with the Tyrant. Tarrant. It could be. Yeah. Not sure.
He's in Green Lantern, apparently.
Yeah.
Or Mark Richards. That's an easy one. Thank you.
America.
So bad. Mark Richards, who has faced the Dark Knight. Yay. So that might work.
I mean, either way, they'll make it work.
Well, yeah, it's always going to...
It's not necessarily all criminals that Batman has put away, right. Which is good. I like this world building we've got. Common
is the first character that I've seen, whoever he's playing. Also tattooed, hence why people think he's the Tattooed Man. That would make sense. First character I've seen... Shut up, Bond. First one I've seen of the Suicide Squad that I'm like, yes. I like the look, and I have no complaints, probably because I don't know exactly what character he's playing.
No, but you believe him.
So I have nothing to compare it to,
grounded.
But his look is good.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. But also, Harley Quinn and the Joker are such out-of-this-world characters. It's hard to ground them.
They're going to be wacky looks.
It's hard to ground them.
I like Killer Croc's look.
Killer Croc I'm fine with.
It's going to be interesting to see how they explain that away.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is one of the first ones that I've seen that have been like, yeah, he's in this movie.
Yeah, and it's fine. And I love Common.
I'm not attached to him as a character, so it'll be good to see.
Anyway, so that's that. Well, obviously every week there's like 2 new leaked somethings from Suicide Squad. So we're going to be talking about that a lot, I guess. Even though I don't like to share stuff about Jared's performance because he's asked people not to, but I feel as though we need to. So I'm only going to do that if it's been widely acknowledged, which everything will be. Everything will be. So anyway, we're going to put pictures up on our Instagram of Common and Jared Leto. So you can check that out if you haven't seen it elsewhere. It's just at Nerd Jersey. I sound like Chris Hardwick. It's at Nerdist. On
Twitter, we are at NerdistPod.
Right. We're developing elsewhere.
Yeah, we're figuring everything else out.
Yeah.
We'll be on other things. Nerdist Mom follows us on Twitter.
Which is the greatest. Hi, Chris Hardwick's mom.
She's so great.
So excited about that. That made my day.
She's always giving motherly advice on Twitter. It's wonderful.
She's lovely. She's as lovely as her son is.
I wonder if she'd come on and talk hockey with us. She's a big sports nut. I just don't know if hockey's one of those sports.
I would be totally down for that. Let's tweet at her, see what happens.
We'll do it.
Anyway,
we'll make it happen.
Tonight, the two of us are going to see Jurassic World.
In 3D, which I'm usually not on board with, but hey.
We'll see. I like 3D. So
I liked Mad Max in 3D.
That we also have to talk about.
Dude.
But anyway, so yeah, that's going to be it for us for today.
As if that wasn't enough.
Yeah, really. We're going to talk about Jurassic World definitely next time. Like, I feel like we need to go see it.
I'll probably see it twice this weekend.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Make some notes.
And then
do some things.
Record.
Just hit. Weekend off from work. Can you believe that?
I can.
I'm so excited.
Yay. Yeah.
Other than that, there's hockey.
Yay!
Alrighty. So, that being said,
we're good.
We're good. We did it. We did the thing.
We did the thing.
Hodgepodge 1 completed.
Woo! Hodgepodge. Not to be confused with Mod Podge. Don't worry about that.
Or Smodpod.
Or Smodpod. Hi there. Alright, so for Nerd Jersey, this has been Nicole Herview.
And Alex Bond.
Reminding you to always wear your Nerd Jersey with pride. Bye.